Welcome, everybody, to Rapid Fire. Gilbert, it is week 6 of the NFL season. It just came and went. There's a lot being made about who is the MVP. There's been some sloppy quarterback play. Is it time to finally choose someone who's not a quarterback? I think the last time it happened was Adrian Peterson. That's why we bring on Vic, the producer. Vic, thank you so much again for jumping on with Gilbert and myself.
Here's the question to start off rapid fire. Through 6 weeks of the NFL season, there's no front runner for the MVP award. Could this be the season that a non-quarterback wins the MVP, like a Tyreek Hill or a Christian McCaffrey? What do you guys say?
I'm going to go first. Heck yeah. Gilbert, I know where you're going to go. It's Tyreek Hill. The dude is just blazing a trail. He's destroying teams. He is literally uncoverable right now. I've been very impressed with the way he's played, and there's no denying it. I mean, he's on pace for 2,300 yards. Like, that's unheard of. The only game that he was slowed up on was the Bills game with 3 catches, 58 yards. Gilbert, 42 catches, 814 yards, and 6 touchdowns in 6 weeks. That is unheard of. I'm interested to see what he'll do against the Eagles this weekend if he goes up against Darius Slay or whoever he goes up against, but it has to be Tyreek Hill. I think the dude's been a trailblazer, and I really do think that now more than ever, we're close to getting that 2K receiver.
This is a trick question. It's going to be a quarterback for sure. And who's throwing the ball his way, Fernando? That is Tua Tagovailoa. It's always a quarterback winning the MVP. And again, Victor, there is a front runner. It's Tua. Look at all the numbers. You remove Tua from this offense, they're not historic, scoring points at will. And that is the question, right? Most valuable. Take away Tua. You put in Mike White, he's not going to approach, 2,000 receiving yards. Get out of here. Tua is making this offense click. And why do we give credit to Jalen Hurts when he improves? Slow start. Josh Allen, slow start, improves. All their MVPs. But when Tua improves, nobody wants to give him credit. So give me Tua because it's a quarterback league. He is the MVP front runner going into week 7.
So Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts have won MVPs before?
They've always been considered
considered. We'll consider Tua.
We'll consider
Tua. We're good. We'll consider Tua. Well, that's fine. We'll consider Tua.
When's the last time they got a wide receiver or running back getting the MVP? But
Adrian Peterson. That's when he had a historic season.
It's rapid fire, Fernando. Let the guy make a point.
Season is rolling.
Give me a point here, Vic.
I'm going with Fernando on this one. He is right. If he gets over 2,000 yards, he should get it because he not only predicted that, but if he does that, then he will get the MVP.
People, what's going on here? Fire!
All right,
anybody can throw that guy the ball.
Moving on, guys. The 2 best teams in the NFL so far this season lost on Sunday. The 49ers to the Browns and the Eagles to the Jets. Who had the worst loss, and did Cleveland or New York provide the blueprint for beating them?
Gilbert, who had a worse loss, for, like Vic said, the Eagles or the 49ers?
Man, this is a tough question. I'll answer on the blueprint. No blueprint. I think the teams were just due for a loss here. But I will say the worst loss, I'm going to go with the 49ers because they did take a beating with the injuries. No Debo, no Christian McCaffrey. And that kind of tells you maybe the 49ers would have done enough. And they should have gotten that field goal at the end. And here's why it's the worst loss. Here's my point. Kyle Shanahan showed too much respect for this very good Browns defense. He was too cautious that he spiked the ball at the end with Brock Purdy, and he didn't want to risk losing yards. But you have a rookie kicker. Get some more yards. Put less pressure on your kid. Or how about this? Take a shot on the end zone and win the freaking game. So the 49ers had a worse loss, I think.
Here comes Debo. Who? Debo. I love that. Yeah, from Friday. But no, and while I would agree with Gilbert, I have to go with the Eagles. The Eagles face a big task this weekend going up against the Miami Dolphins. But you know what? Getting punched in the mouth sometimes like that helps. The thing is, we've been seeing some of these trends the past few weeks, and finally it came back to bite them. I mean, obviously it was against Zach Wilson, no Sauce Gardner. And both of the Williams brothers made plays. So I think this is something that's been affecting them. They lost Lane Johnson. Who knows how long he's going to be out? You could see at that point that when Lane went down, they started getting more and more pressure on Jalen Hurts. So I truly think it was the Eagles just because of the schedule that they have coming up. I mean, the 49ers face the Vikings on Monday Night Football, tough with even without Mr. Gritty, but I think it was the Eagles because we've seen these deficiencies coming slowly but surely. We've seen the what they lack in on offense and on defense, and it came to fruition against the Jets. So I definitely say it's the Eagles.
I'm giving this point to Gilbert because he's right. They lost three of their players in the game. The Eagles only lost one. You have to be better here in terms of when you lose a player. But I understand what happened with the 49ers. That was a worse loss for them because no one expected. We've seen these, they were dominating teams the whole season. The Eagles were kind of struggling, and so this was something that was coming for the Eagles. All right,
PJ
guys.
Walker, the Manhattan MILF Hunter, have revenge games.
Nice.
All right, guys. Moving on to the next one. Sean Payne was on Colin Cowherd's show last year and said Caleb Williams is truly a generational player and is good enough for a team to tank for him. Plus, caused the NFL to move to a lottery system to stop it from happening again. This is a two-part question for you guys. Is Sean Payne tanking to get a franchise quarterback? And will we see a draft lottery system in the NFL in the near future?
Gilbert, could the NFL potentially play loteria for the draft just like the NBA? And is Sean Payton tanking
Hmm. I
for
guess I could
Caleb?
see it. I could see the lottery maybe system coming through for the NFL, but here's where I give you my argument. What's the point? Like you're still gonna tank. It's just you get better odds. Like the same thing happens in the NBA. It doesn't stop teams from tanking. So I kind of like the system. I have no problem with it, unless you come up with a better solution than the lottery, where you still have better odds of getting the number one pick. And to answer the other part of the question, I think it might be a little too soon for Sean Payton to tank, but I think the trade deadline would tell us a lot. If he starts unloading like Patrick Surtain, oh,
What,
the fire sale's on. But yeah, to go with your what, Jared Judy, Cortland Sutton,
what,
Justin
what,
Simmons,
what?
where else I can't forget. I can remember a lot of people, but everybody's pretty much on the trading block for the Broncos. So if those guys are gone, then I guess that's our answer. But I think maybe Sean Payton's trying to see one more game. But at this point, what are you really trying to look for?
I think that when it goes to tanking, I mean, you're going to tank, okay, but like Gilbert said, what if they get rid of Cortland Sutton and all these guys? What the hell's Caleb Williams coming into? And that's the problem that we have with some of these teams that do tank. Like a Bryce Young is struggling right now. Yeah, he has Adam Thielen, but these guys come in because the teams aren't set, the teams aren't ready. You have to build. They're going to have to take their lumps. I'm not the biggest Caleb Williams fan. I thought some of if you look
Whoa.
at his interceptions against Notre Dame, it's something that he's kind of been doing, and Notre Dame had the perfect defensive package for him. But no, I think a lottery system is dumb. I mean, that's a perfect way to cheat. We all know what we've heard about the Knicks and the frozen whatever card that they got for Patrick Ewing a couple years ago. It's going to be an easy way. Can you imagine if the Kansas City Chiefs had like 0.0 or 0.3% chance all of a sudden they get like a top 3 pick? Like
Yeah, good
people are
point.
going to be pissed. Like, yeah, no, there's no way. Avoid it at all costs. Yeah, the tanking for Caleb Williams is that would be done by Sean Payton, but I agree with Gilbert. I think it's going to end up happening. He's going to end up offloading guys, and who knows what he's going to come into.
Real quick, just to embarrass you, Fernando, the Patrick Ewing scenario did not happen a couple of years ago. It happened 3 decades ago.
Okay, a couple of years ago, whatever, 30 years ago, whatever. Hey,
Maybe longer, for
I
sure
just watched
longer.
Space Jam a couple of weeks ago, and to me
There
that
you go.
that was still a little bit ago.
I'm gonna give that point to Fernando. He is right. I don't think the tanking is gonna happen. The NFL lottery system doesn't work. We've seen a lot of these teams trade up and not get the quarterback. We've seen it with Bryce Young. Just leave it the way it is. You don't need to change it up. All right, guys. Next one. Fair or foul for NFL fans and media to call the Chargers fan a paid actor or a Chargers plant after she went viral during Monday Night Football's telecast on ESPN.
Gilbert, do you feel like it was fair that they said that she was a paid actress and she was there for and that's why they were showing her so much?
Yeah, I'm actually curious to hear your answer, Fernando, but I'm gonna say it's foul just because the narrative the Chargers fans don't. I'm a Chargers fan. Chargers don't have any fans. It's fans a little tiring. Obviously, it's not the biggest fan base in the NFL, but they do have fans. So people like to make fun because of one joke, and it keeps going and going. So I don't know about this, Chargers fan being a legit Chargers fan, but no way the NFL and the Chargers got together and say, all right, and Monday Night Football crew, ESPN, let's zone in on that girl. We paid her and put the cameras on her the whole time so we could prove that we have fans here. I don't think they're going to go that far. And the Chargers probably know if they would have done that, it would be pretty embarrassing if it ever came out. So I think it's foul. Come on. I know people love conspiracy theories, but let's slow down. But I get it. It's funny. I did laugh a couple of times. So I get that part.
No, I think it's foul as well. It's just the stupid narrative, like you said, that they don't have any fans. They've grown their fan base in LA since they got there. I mean, slowly but surely it's growing, but I mean, it just stupid takes that one idiot does on Twitter, and everybody kind of rolls off of it. She was on the Pat McAfee show, so obviously she's official. We all know that, but it's just that dumb narrative. I mean, why don't they do that to the Raiders? The Raiders get sometimes overrun in their stadium. The Rams get overrun in their stadium as well. So I thought it was a little foul. And what I also thought was foul was that Sports Center video where they had the Charger players crying and Brandon Staley. Like, to me, that's like the biggest, like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But you told me last night that's where we're going to. If that's where we're going to, then get me off this ship. I want out, because that is the dumbest thing to me.
Like, great content, Fernando.
You're just gonna take a shot at at a random team. Let's see. Next week it's Vikings and 49ers. If the Vikings lose, are they gonna do that with Kirk Cousins and everybody else? Like, that to me is just dumb. Like, and yes, it would have been done to me no matter who they would have done it to. Like, that just, to me, that's a complete red card. I don't think you, especially if you're Sports Center, like, if the Cowboys would have lost, would they? If the Cowboys would have lost, would they have done that with Dak and with? I mean, I know Stephen A. Smith would have done it, but whatever. This isn't a soliloquy, my bad. But yeah, it was foul.
You guys went with the same thing, so I'm gonna give you guys each a half a point.
What?
All right, guys, we're moving on. Question number 5. Best defense in the NFL right now. Is it the Browns, Jets, 49ers, Eagles, or even the Cowboys?
Who has the best defense in the NFL, Gilbert?
I know some people might laugh, but maybe not anymore because of the dominant victory. Give me the Cleveland Browns, and not because of the one game. They've been on my radar, Fernando. I know you're giving me a look here, but check the stats. This secondary has been pretty good. Probably one of the best secondaries in a long time. They haven't allowed a team to get over 200 passing yards in a game. One got 200, but not over it. This pass rushing game is pretty good with Myles Garrett. He finally has help there. By the way, Myles Garrett was my pick for Defensive Player of the Year. That's looking pretty nice here. So I am not new, like the Chargers fan, fair or foul. But the Browns are my team right now in the NFL. But a lot of good defenses. It is kind of a year for the defense, but give me the Browns right now as the most dominant unit.
So they played a broken down Joe Burrow because he had just come back from injury. The Steelers, the Titans, the Ravens, and the 49ers with all those injuries. Yeah, I mean, I guess they faced the mountain, I guess, so far, but but I'm gonna go with the Jets. I think the Jets have faced some tough opponents. I think they've held some guys down. A couple of weeks ago, even with what's her name in the building, they were able to take it to the Chiefs. They slowed down the Chiefs. This week, no Sauce Gardner, and they're able to slow down Jalen Hurts and that offense. So I got to go with the Jets. The Jets have a harder schedule. And because obviously they're facing all these top teams, top quarterbacks, more than the Cleveland Browns and to this point. So I'm going to go with the New York Jets. I think, like I said, even without Sauce Gardner, they're able to slow Jalen Hurts down. That's pretty impressive. And some of these other victories that the Jets have, well, not victories, but the way they've been able to slow down teams. I think Robert Saleh is doing a great job with that defense.
What about Dak Prescott and the Cowboys going off on them? But just saying.
So you picked one, and I pointed out 4 or 5 that were wrong. That was one, and that was post Aaron Rodgers injury.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go with Fernando on this one. 2 things that he said that I thought were he's right on. The Jets were actually without 2 of their corners in that game against the Eagles, and then the other thing too, I love what Robert Saleh said, that they embarrassed quarterback so far this season.
Not
that
Dak
was a
Prescott. They forgot about Dak, but maybe he doesn't consider him as a gauntlet quarterback.
Yeah, he doesn't.
So we are Fernando, you win this round here today, but I have one bonus question that we've added here. So here it is, guys. Men and women's flag football is coming to the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. What would be your dream team flag football team? Now you need to choose one quarterback, two receivers, one running back, one tight end, and an alternate player.
Gilbert, go ahead.
Okay, I think I gotta pick up my alternate on the spot here, but I will give you my starting unit. Patrick Mahomes, no doubt. Travis Kelsey, Mr. Pfizer, Justin Jefferson, and your boy Tyreek Hill, the MVP, apparently to you guys, and Christian McCaffrey as my running back. And I can't think of anybody on the spot, but my guy Amon-Ra St. Brown, alternate.
I'll go Tom Brady. I'll go Gronkowski. No, I'm kidding. That's a no.
Throwback.
Well, I didn't know if like we were choosing NFL players because I think they're gonna outlaw NFL players. So I was gonna go retired.
You can choose whoever you want, Fernando.
Tom Brady
or what?
Tom Brady, T.O. Jerry. I think Jerry Rice could still freaking go.
Okay.
Rob Gronkowski. My alternate would be Antonio Gates. He still looks like he's in great shape. Running back, who just retired, who like recently, Vic, Lifeline. Huh?
I was gonna say you guys are like the way you guys are doing this is the wrong way to go about it, because remember, these guys also have to play defense. So you have to think about both sides of the football.
It's America.
Have you guys not played flag football?
We're gonna dominate.
They got this. My guys got this. Who you know what?
Think like Julian Edelman. Think like those kind of guys, like Cordell Stewart, like those type of guys.
Guys to go 2 ways again.
My alternate's gonna be I'm gonna switch
Deion Sanders.
No, hell no. He has no toe. I'm gonna go Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson can play both ways. I know that. So that's my alternate. And I guess my running back, hell, I don't know. I'll go Adrian Peterson. He's
LaDainian Tomlinson.
No. AP still fresh. I think he could knock people over. I'm gonna go with AP. So that's my team.
Well, there you go, guys. Fernando won this round of rapid fire. Congratulations, another win. I think you're now 4-2 on the season, Fernando.
I appreciate that, Vic. Thank you so much.
There's a plant here. I'm gonna start saying that now. Plant. What a plant.
There he goes. But obviously, we appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to check out Compas on the Beat this week. We have a lot of great stuff coming up. So make sure you guys check it all out. Thank you guys for joining us for Rapid Fire.